This is The Professionals, a podcast by music business technology and broadcast media technology students on Outcast OCCR Owens Community College Radio. In this series, students will interview industry professionals in their respective fields to help gather an idea of what it's like to work in their industry.
I'm Oliver Odendahl, and today I'm here with Aiden Fisher. You are an AV director?
Yeah, I'm the AV director over at Epworth United Methodist Church in Toledo.
Could you explain a little bit about what that is?
As the AV director, as the name kind of implies, the A and the V, I'm responsible for all the audio and video / visual elements, anything that, or any time that we have something like technology related, mostly, but don't call me the tech guy because I'm not the tech guy. But mostly I wheel and deal in audio, video. We do live streaming also, so all the streaming, we're doing some social media stuff, so I'm also got a hand in all the social media things, and we also do some networking things around the church. So
how did you get started working with audio and video?
It's a great story, I think. I graduated high school in 2021. I had not any sort of real plan for college. I'm a musician. I went to Toledo School for the Arts. I studied music, and I've also been in the theater and in dance. I did ballet for a long time. So I was all about the performing arts. And I wanted to continue doing that into college. But COVID happened, and I was not able to meet with any of my teachers or my private instructors. I really was not feeling confident come, January or the end of December, January, about auditions for college. I ended up, kind of missing that window. And I said, well, I need to go to college. I want to go to college. So what am I going to do? This music was all that I was thinking of. I didn't have a plan B, right? So I said, well, I have to do something in the arts in some way, somehow. I found there was a program here at Owens, and I thought, well, it's community college. It's not a super huge investment. I can try it for a semester or two, see how I like it. But I found music, business, technology, and I said, well, it's music, it's technology. I like both of those things. Business is kind of good overall. So I said, okay, we'll give it a shot. I started in classes with Rob Titrich, doing the recording and the audio engineering. And I thought, man, I really love this. It's really great. It's the kind of artistic thing that I really enjoy, with the technical aspects I really like. Got through the whole semester. And I said, man, I like this so much. How do I get paid for doing this? That's the question that everyone has. How do I get paid for doing this? I reached out to some folks that I knew from high school and parents, friends, and friends of friends, and got in contact with the then AV director at Epworth, who was the father of a friend that I had in high school. And Epworth, a church that I went to with my family when I was growing up. I said, okay, there's a connection there. I'm familiar with these people. I reached out to him and I said, can I come and intern with you? And he said, yeah, church always needs volunteers. Come on Sunday, we'll show you what we're doing. Okay, great. Did that for a month. I said, Kyle, I'm having such a great time. How do I get paid for this? So he said, okay, well, I can't pay you, but here's this guy's number. And he gave me the number of a man named Jim White with Image Sound and Lighting. It's a company here in Toledo, and they do live sound production and reinforcement. And so I worked with Jim, still work with Jim, but in about 3 years. Kyle left his position after a year or so after I was there. I was the only other person who had any sort of experience. They offered me the job. I stepped up. It was a lot to learn, but I was doing the stuff with Jim, the sound production, and had the experience, technical skills from here. And I knew the Epworth rig because I was working there as a volunteer. That's how I kind of got into this. It was never a question for me when I got out of high school. I started playing the trumpet. That's what I'm a winds guy, I'm a brass guy. I started playing the trumpet in 5th grade, and I did that all through high school. And there was never any other thought in my mind that I could do anything else. No, not specifically with the music, but in the arts. I did ballet for 15 years. Theater is a big deal to me. Music, big deal to me. Dance is a big deal to me. So there was never any question. I never was like, oh, what about, nursing or like math? Never any thought. I said, it has to be in the arts because there's nothing else that I care about. It's the only thing I care about. Yeah, it was a tremendous opportunity. It just kind of fell right in my lap.
What are some common challenges you face in that environment?
You're always learning. There's always a new problem because someone found a new way to break something, or there's new technology coming out. And in a place like Epworth, it's a big church where I think the biggest or second biggest church in our district. There's 11 districts in Ohio, so I think the second or biggest church in our district. We have a very beautiful, large building on Central Avenue, and it is full of technology. Keeping track of everything, making sure it's all in working condition and, tip-top shape. And the other thing is people always having new ideas. So how can, I accommodate those ideas? We have an older congregation, so a lot of things that we're doing, especially in the winter months, as it gets darker earlier, people don't want to come out as late. We've been doing a lot of studies and classes online. So working through how to, get those done online, making sure all these technology illiterate people are able to use this as easily as possible. Something maybe, a little more that you might be able to understand is like in service. I've got a lot of people who go, I just can't hear what they're saying. And I said, I know you can't. You also sit in the last 3 rows, and I would love if you would move up. But I get a lot of people say, I just can't hear. And I say, okay, all right, how do we make this work? Part of it is not necessarily just being in the church, but, when you're doing live sound or live production, it's not just like the tech industry, it's the hospitality industry, or I say entertainment industry, it's the hospitality industry, because you're working with people.
Yeah.
And these are people who don't understand what you're doing. They look at a console or a mixer and they're like, holy crap, I have there's so many buttons. And I'm like, it's 4 knobs.
Yeah.
It's 4 knobs. They've got no idea. So it's being hospitable and trying to make it work. It can't be perfect, right? But we do the best we can. Mm-hmm. Those are some of the challenges. But that was one of the things that kind of like got me to where I am now and really pushed me forward, from being here at Owens. It was more than just, doing the classes, because when I started actually working, I learned so much more in 6 months than I did, through the whole course of study here. Because there's something about studying and something about doing it. You can study, you can read the books and you can understand how it works and do things, but actually putting it into practice and doing it over and over and over again, you learn a lot. Actually working, being in that environment, working with the gear, working with other people who know way more about some of the stuff because it's their 25-year career. One of the first big events I did was WWE Monday Night Raw at the Huntington Center. My job sucked. I was on electrics, and we ran around and plugged power in. The guy, he had nothing for us to do, so for like 15 minutes, he gave us paintbrushes and said, go dust those lenses off those lights. Okay. But you meet people, and you talk to people.
Yeah,
and you actually, and you look at their rig, and you say, why are they doing this the way that they're doing this? There must be a reason why they're doing it, and so you ask people and you talk to people, and that's how you really understand it. Mm-hmm. Right? And you really get pushed in, because people will remember you. Yeah. They'll recognize you. They'll see you again and again. And then you'll be able to help them more and help them better. And then someday they'll go, hey, do you want to get paid for doing this? That's the best thing I could say to anyone is, if you're curious about it, find out how you can do it. This industry it's not a get-rich-quick industry. I mean, even some of the best people at the game are who've got it made, right? They're making 6-figure salaries, but that's such a small percent. Most people in this industry are just like, they're regular people. You're not going to be making a doctor's salary unless you're Dave Rat. A Dave Rat's a Dave Rat, you know? It's one of those things. It's like, you have to do it because you love it. Lots of late nights. Sometimes you're the first one in, the last one out.
Well, that looks like all the time we have. Aiden, thanks so much for coming on. This has been the Industry Professional Podcast. I'm Oliver Odendahl, and my guest was Aiden Fisher.
This has been the Professionals Podcast by Music Business Technology and Broadcast Media Technology students. Join us next time on OutCast OCCR Owens Community College Radio.